Yeah, buddy. We starting now?
I guess we're starting now.
What's up, everybody?
Wait!
Corona edition.
What's out
19. I don't know. Corona what?
How many episodes are we?
This is episode number 14.
Okay, you keep track.
Technically. I think
Wow. I don't even feel like, you know when you're like counting reps and you're like, oh, 6 more.
so. Yeah, I don't even know how to count.
I don't
So
even feel
this tastes like shit. What is this?
That's rosé.
Dude, fancy people suck. I'm just saying that.
Because you're basic.
Yeah, I'm basic.
Being very basic
Oh
right
my
now.
god, I took a sip of that and it hit me like 10 minutes later. It was awful. Yeah.
What's up, people?
Yeah, Florida's Fittest podcast.
My name is Mark. This is Mark.
Yeah.
It's Florida's Fittest with Mark and Mark.
Yeah.
Mark
yeah,
and Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Should
And
get on the
there's
shirt.
no funky bunch though.
Can we get that on the shirt though? It says Mark E. Mark and the Funky
Yeah.
Bunch.
Y'all the funky bunch. That's what it is.
Yeah. All of you
All of you, yeah.
are the
But,
Funky Bunch.
We got some sports topics, and this is like another filler podcast, right?
True, and this is week number 725 of the coronavirus update.
I mean, isn't it day 40?
Yeah.
Technically day 40?
Technically, it's day 40.
Day 40?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday shout out to my younger brother. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Number 26.
I apologize to your liver.
Well, he's not hungover. Not really.
It sounded a little painful, at least from the recounting.
Yeah, he'll live.
Okay, yeah.
Good news for at least Florida. Most of the beaches are opening up. Sarasota County, they open up on May 4th. You're welcome. It's my birthday. That's why they're opening up. Not really. But yeah, that way you don't have to go down to Charlotte County to go to their shitty beaches.
It's a gift from Sarasota.
Yeah.
And from Mark. It's a gift from Sarasota to you and from
To
you and
everyone
Sarasota
else.
to everybody else.
I am the gift. That keeps giving. No. Yeah, I think that's really important because
I kind of want that on a shirt, like a picture of your head like looking up, and it says, I am the gift.
yeah.
Your mom's going to think that's the douchiest
No.
thing ever.
Oh, but yeah.
And I won't wear it.
No, but I think it's good that everyone's getting out, and like I know for myself, and I'm sure yourself, like it's getting a little stir crazy.
I guess,
being
but
inside.
I don't think
Well, we haven't really been
stay-
social. We haven't really been social distancing
No,
because
because we just don't give a fuck.
it's ridiculous. Honestly, like there's so many. Here we go again. I told myself.
I'm reading an
Yeah.
entire book about this.
Yeah, it's.
Go on.
I said in the beginning when this first started that depression, fear, panic, alcoholism, domestic violence is going to kill more people than this pandemic ever will. And so far, I've been correct, even though I've been scolded by family members, by people outside my family. That are like, no, this thing's real, it's really killing people. I was like, so far, evidence is pointed towards the latter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and
Yeah.
still respecting people's, cautions. Like, walking in grocery stores, I'll keep my 6-foot distance and whatnot, and walk down the one-way aisles and wear a mask if I need to.
So you'd be respectful.
Yeah, be respectful.
That
but-
that seems like the logical thing to do.
Yeah, like I'm not totally. I'm a jerk, but I'm not totally an asshole. Like.
No, you don't like have blatant
No,
disregard.
I don't have blatant disregard for people, but at the same time, I kind of think this is ridiculous, and so far I've been correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
Not for nothing.
God. I mean, here's the like big picture, small picture thing for me. It's like more and more people want to get coddled,
Yeah,
which is very much against what we talk about all the time.
yeah,
So the more people that are coddled, the more that they want to be told what to do and how to behave in this situation, which is like, yeah, wear your masks. It's dangerous out there. It's
it's mass fear, and I blame media and social media again
wacky.
because it just spreads more and more fear, and more people panic, and
Yeah.
that's what's killing people. Like the fact that people who have like heart disease and heart problems are not going to the hospital and risk of getting a coronavirus
Out of fear of getting
out of
corona,
fear of
yeah.
getting corona is horrible. Like go to the hospital. If you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
But
There's a press conference by 2 doctors out in Kern County in California, and I guess it's so controversial that YouTube has been taking down that particular video over and over again or whatever. I didn't think it was a thing, but they were really taking it down. There's two doctors in scrubs at the end of a long table. It's Dr. Erickson and Dr. I think Miss Masley or Healy. And they're talking about how they're immunologists and they work in the hospital and they're just not seeing the numbers bear out. But beyond that, like, to get away from being confrontational, the idea is like, okay, well, at the very beginning, we're all scared because we don't know what to do. So let's behave accordingly and take the most stringent measures possible. But as the numbers come out and as we have a better understanding of these things, especially for those two who are frontline guys, they see that, okay, this isn't really bearing out the way that the CDC or the WHO or anybody has assumed it to be.
Yeah.
And so they treat it as, okay, well, we can ease off some of these restrictions and limitations. And they echo exactly the same things you said and I've said.
Yeah.
People are getting unhealthy because you're not getting the exposure to the outside that you should be getting from vitamin D. And the irreversible damage caused by child abuse, domestic abuse, alcoholism, drug abuse that is coming out of this like stir craziness that we joke about all the time is
that's something that I do take seriously.
It's worse.
I've seen it and it's horrible. It's almost irreversible, some of the effects that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
like, how do we account for that?
Yeah. Well,
what's the CDC or the WHO or like?
I'm not a doctor, and I can't speak for those people suffering from that or anything like that. But May is mental health month. So
nice transition.
Yeah,
I like
good transition, right? And something that I've been doing because sometimes I get trapped in my own thoughts, and I've dealt with depression, and one of the things that helped me through that was journaling. So I've been writing down my thoughts, and this is the perfect time to do it since we have all this free time.
Yeah. So you guys better follow and subscribe and everything in this podcast.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna make Mark really depressed.
Not really.
But, all jokes aside, though.
But all jokes aside, like just getting your thoughts out on paper, and then later on in life you can look back and be like, wow, like this is what I was going through.
Yeah.
Like this actually happened. This is what you either like laugh about, like, oh, I can't believe this. I took this seriously, or like, wow, this is really serious, and like this is the things we're going through, and this is the things we're suffering. Like the way I see it, like I'm like I don't like to be told what to do most of the time.
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna tell me to go and stay inside all the time,
so I wear a mask.
Walk
a certain pattern in the stores.
I'm gonna tell you to shove it, and I'm gonna do my own thing, as long as it's not illegal. But it's like people are meant to be social. We're meant to be social creatures. Like for us to be isolated and like not talk to anybody or not interact with other people is detrimental to our health, and that's why people get depressed. That's why people go to alcohol and all this stuff, and like it's not conducive. So all these things, like they add up, and that's why I think there's a decline in health, but not in uptake in coronavirus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And the numbers are, to some degree, well, I want to touch on the numbers for a second. A lot of people have been using shame because it's part of this outrage culture, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit deeper in a second. But like the thing is, like, obviously, as people get exposed to it, like everyone gets exposed. I'm not saying that it's a one-to-one comparison to the flu, but what I'm saying is that just in terms of immunology and disease, if a lot of people get exposed to it, a lot of people are going to get it. It's not to say that you read some headline about, what was it, Georgia opens up the city, or Atlanta opens up the city, or wherever, and
Georgia opened the state.
The state.
Yeah.
And then
so
they got like
salons
so they got like a huge flood of people who got sick. Yes, they will contract it. Yes, they'll test positive for it. It's not to say that people are necessarily going to be susceptible to dying or like the worst parts of this disease. And when people put that out there, I know what you're trying to say. What you're trying to do is you're trying to shame people into believing that their choice to open things up now is a bad idea, and that it ultimately, like, you deserve to get sick. You might not say that, you may not overtly imply
people
it.
think it.
But that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do try and I know that you shouldn't get hung up or spun around the axle in like politics or whatever in Facebook, but I do it because I feel like so many people that share our perspectives are are hiding underground because they're just gonna get shamed by people who are gonna give them crap because it's the irresponsible thing to do.
So what makes the difference between us and them then?
I think it's just a willingness to be personally accountable. So I'm reading this book by Dan Crenshaw, who's a former Navy SEAL. He got famous because Pete Robinson, the comedian who formerly used to date Ariana Grande, busted his chops on an episode of SNL once, and Dan took it graciously, and he actually was asked to come on the show, and he was able to actually bust Pete Robinson's balls a little bit and get him back. But the whole notion in his book is that part of fortitude is developing a sense for when you make an independent, personally accountable decision and saying that, and don't get me wrong, like our decisions to not fully abide by social distancing policies and things may have panned out for worse for us. Like I said this to my daughter's mom. She went on the deep end of being very scared and paranoid. But she may have been right and I may have been wrong. I could be in the hospital right now and that could have been a possibility. But that is a responsibility that I have to take on when I make that decision.
Yeah.
And when you abdicate your responsibility to, say, government, the way that people have been doing, which is the scary thing that a lot of people have been talking about.
I find it very shocking that people are
Isn't it crazy?
Willing to give up, like, oh, government says shut down everything, take away all my liberties, like, I can't work? Fine, give me a check. This is all I have to live off of. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like.
Apparently, like that. Those in moments of intense crisis, in moments like this, when people are like they don't know how to make a decision, they tend to do either one of two things. They become extremely fundamentalist, I believe. So you get that experience, or you get people who are like very extreme on the other end.
Well, this is my sheep theory. Like I've talked about this before. Like. I've always said society is like 80% sheep, and here we are.
And it's not
led by sheep. And like
that's not a negative implication of people's behavior. It's just that we want security, and if somebody else could take the fall or take responsibility for our decisions, we're gonna default to that.
Well, we look for leadership, and like we want security and comfort and all that stuff, and we're afraid to almost blaze out our own.
Which is wild because leaders are people.
Yeah.
They're just as faulty. Like, I was watching this whole thing at the very beginning, and I'm like, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
They're having to figure this out as we go. And so that's I think, so you ask what separates us from them. And it's not something that's like dead, like concrete. Hard set in concrete. It's something that you can develop and grow into. It's not playing into this outrage culture of shaming one another, and it's being able to say, I'm going to take personal responsibility for my decisions to go out and like succeed if I need be under these dire circumstances.
It's finding a solution than just settling with the problem.
Yeah.
Just like being stumped by the problem. It's like,
because regardless of what directions you go in, there's like.
He's like, if I'm stranded on an island and I only got a pen, a horn, and a dumbbell, I'm going to figure out how to do something.
Yeah.
You know? So.
You got to take that dumbbell and take some of that metal and turn it into a knife so you can cut stuff.
Yeah. Or I'm just going to smash fish across the head with it.
Brute force it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
One of the two. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, I don't want to belabor that point too much, but that's basically where I think we fundamentally stand.
We can transition into a statement that our great governor
DeSantis.
Governor DeSantis, which, I voted for him. I think he's, a great governor.
Yeah.
But I feel two ways about it. So.
About what?
Gyms not opening, so gyms are still closed, which is like, to us, man. Which is very important to us because obviously this is Florida's Fittest podcast. Fittest is in the name, so can't get fit without. Well, you can, but
you can,
It's.
Listen, I'm
glad
it's
gyms,
not.
Okay?
I'm glad it's not Florida's fattest.
Yeah.
Although that would be really easy.
Yeah, it'd be.
By the way, side note, I was really thinking. I'm really considering doing. You ever heard of a thing called mukbang?
No, I don't know.
Mukbang is like this Korean, like social media phenomenon where you basically just eat large amounts of food on camera, and it's like a big deal.
Don't they have that? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that Nathan's hot dog?
I mean, they have like
contest?
this 10,000 calorie challenge, but this is literally like, there's no like contest. It's just,
No.
you just sit there and people will just watch you and you'll get sponsored by food companies
Dude,
to eat large amounts of
honestly,
foods.
the internet is a weird place now.
I like it.
Yeah,
I might do it.
I guess you do. Yeah. Well, you eat way. Like I thought I ate a lot. You eat way more than I
Well, it's like a good post-workout thing.
do. Yeah. I mean, well, it puts you in a food coma.
I'm
But,
down. I'm down. But
yeah.
that's in the future. Different segment for Florida's Fittest podcast. I'm gonna try to work on being Florida's fattest,
Oh, jeez.
Florida's thickest.
Florida's thickest. Yeah.
Anyways,
but,
moving on.
Yeah, the gyms are not going to be open for at least for a while now, and he wanted to see how other states played it out. And I understand where it's coming from. Like I know a couple of people who own gyms in our town. And
Tanya's
like
not very happy.
Yeah,
about it.
Tanya's not very happy. I don't know how Adam's handling it.
Adam's just kind of.
I think he's very lax. He's very
Yeah, but Adam definitely wants to abide by the rules. Cause,
Yeah. And they obviously
That's Tanya Papa
yeah.
of Real Fitness Sarasota.
Yeah.
Awesome
Yes.
CrossFit, probably the preeminent CrossFit gym the
in
area.
Sarasota. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Adam Michon of Grind Fit, which is basically it's becoming the preeminent powerlifting gym
Yeah.
of Sarasota.
Well, it's like the only powerlifting.
But
gym.
it's like, well, I mean, people tried.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
one.
yeah.
There was one.
There was one.
And it went under.
Yeah, it's true.
They shall not be named.
But,
People know.
yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand their frustration, and I understand where Governor DeSantis is coming from, because essentially gyms are germ factories. Like the people who come in there, especially commercial gyms, like Around the Clock.
Yeah.
You know, LA Fitness.
Yeah.
UFit. What's that other one? Planet Fitness. Like
Yeah.
people
Crunch,
don't wipe.
24 hour.
Yeah. You know, people
LA.
sweat on equipment. They don't wipe it
They
down.
don't attend to it, yeah.
You know, people come in there sick. They use the sauna. All this stuff. Everything doesn't get washed properly. It's a breeding ground.
You
So
worked in one of those.
I
Yeah.
worked in. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. I've
Yeah.
seen things that I never want to see again.
Yeah.
But it's. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand, but I also understand a business owner's frustration when
Yeah.
it comes to trying to reopen.
Well,
something.
especially
Yeah.
when you know
Yeah.
they're good business owners. They're
Exactly.
good.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, GrindFit and RFS are probably two of the most cleanest gyms that I've been to.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
Hands down.
Regardless of any gym I've ever
Yeah.
been to.
Like, especially for.
Outside of like Metroflex though, Metroflex in the West is like intentionally like dangerous.
Yeah.
Like you could cut yourself and get tetanus.
Because that's like
That's the style.
that's the style.
Yeah.
And like if you're not a serious athlete,
Yeah.
like, you don't belong there.
Yeah.
It's true, you know. But like, I mean, especially for like a CrossFit gym, like CrossFit gyms are notoriously like dungeony looking gyms,
Mm-hmm.
and RFS is not like that. So it's
50 Shades of CrossFit.
yeah, 50 Shades. Oh, jeez. But yeah, I understand both sides. Like, as a health concerned and a business owner concerned, I understand both of them.
Yeah.
In terms of equipment, like a lot of people, I had friends who were asking like, "Hey, do you know where you can get like gym equipment?" I'm like, if you can't get it online, like you might as well just wait till this is over, because you're not going to
build
find it,
it,
or
yeah.
build it. Yeah,
Which has been really cool. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool to see like a lot of the innovation
Yeah.
on social media.
If you don't have gym equipment and
can
you
build it.
looking to buy, and you're very crafty and you're looking to build your own, check out Christy Irmo's YouTube page. She's literally dropped like 5 or 6 videos on how to build equipment, like a squat rack / bench, parallel bars, pull-up bar from a wall or a ceiling, plyo box, all in her videos, like totally for free, and they cost less than $40. I built 2 slosh pipes for $20.
Nice.
You know, very simple, very, you know, minimal material. So, you know, if you really need to do something, like you're itching to lift something or do something, check out those channels. And there's plenty more. I mean,
Yeah.
there's like ones from like the past where like people made like kettlebells out of basketballs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
And that just tells you like the level of innovation that comes out
Yeah.
of moments like this when you kind of get away or get over the thought, the train of thought of like panic.
yeah,
When you innovate, I just heard something from a webinar last night that said that a lot of America's millionaires were created during the Great Depression.
Yes.
Because you learn to develop under pressure and adversity. And that's why, like, I think,
which is what I've said, like,
well, I think that's what sets us apart.
over
Yeah, that's
100
what sets
times.
us apart is like,
Yeah.
you learn to overcome your circumstances and find different ways to go about things. And that's just, and I think between that, what we talk about and what Dan Crenshaw talks about in his book, you have to be adaptable, and
Yeah.
that we're humans. Like, and I think that's why it just to go back to what we were saying, it is kind of tragic and frightening that people are so quick to give up their rights because, oh, this is an interesting thought. The pursuit of happiness was never intended to mean the pursuit of, indulgence. Like, it was never meant for that. It was intended to mean you had the opportunity to chase the ideal lifestyle that you have set in your mind,
Yeah.
including the challenges that come along the way. So the founding fathers never intended to say, we're gonna hook you up with everything you'll ever need.
Because that'd just be a
'Cause
nation of
that's
spoiled.
charity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be a nation of spoiled brats.
Exactly.
Which is kind of where we're at right now.
And it makes
But-
sense that the founding
yeah.
fathers would say that because they developed or built this country through hard work, and there were many instances. Like, if you haven't read Dan Crenshaw's book, it's really good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna read
It's
that one,
really
yeah.
freaking good.
'Cause I've been reading, because I'm missing the Olympics really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of flustered with the whole Olympic thing. So I've been reading Gold in the Water. I forget who it's by. I could pull it up real quick. But basically, it's about a group of athletes preparing for the 2000 Olympic Games, and
That's a really good title.
yeah.
That's a good title.
Well, it was a time where, like, I told you about the suit technology in swimming, how it was like it changed in 2009. Like, I still have a swimsuit, like a bodysuit from 2009. I only wore one time before they got disbanded because it was cheating. So
Yeah.
it was before you got the whole high tech period of, the late 2000s or late 2000s, the late 2000s, like before all that. So it's really interesting stuff, and like the training. And my swim coach actually swam under the coach in the book, and I can see why his coach style was that way, because Coach Dick Jokums from Santa Clara Swim Club was by all means every bit of the word tyrant when it came to coaching.
Yeah.
Like, he controlled everything,
Yeah.
and he was an asshole about everything.
Yeah.
Which I thought I had a rough childhood
And a
coaching.
tough coach.
And a tough coach with
Yeah.
my dad and Coach Schoaf. This was nothing compared to what Coach Jokums did.
Yeah.
So, and like, it really showed, like, the drive of some of these athletes. And like, you had two different style athletes, one who was very talented and had the natural talent to pursue the games and was a real contender, and one who had a scrap for everything. So it took the two tales of two different athletes. It was awesome. So I'm almost done with it. Like,
That's called blood, or Gold in the Water?
Yeah, Golden Water. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the author real quick.
You know what we should do, and I think we're going to start doing this, is we can put together like an Amazon list of the books that we recommend, because we do it all the time. And
Yeah, we share books among friends, and like,
Yeah.
because the people always like, I've been asked multiple times, like oh, what book do you recommend? And like, I tell them, like, the books I've read recently, or the Audible books that I've downloaded, and they're like, oh yeah, let me check that out, and I'll send it to them. And
Yeah.
but I think, like, off the top of my head, if you guys haven't read any of these books, I definitely think you should. I think
Yeah.
Atomic Habits. Can't Hurt Me, the David Goggins book, but I would
About to
download.
crack into that.
I would download the audio version, because you get more of the behind the scenes stuff, and he does like kind of like a podcast / narrative about some of the stuff he did, which is crazy, because his life was crazy. Like, it was nuts. Like
Goggins?
Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
His background is absolutely insane.
The Navy SEALs, man, they're crushing the book game.
Not even
Not even the Navy SEALs.
not even
but
the
prior.
Navy
Oh, no,
SEALs.
he lived like
Prior
a
to
really
Navy
rough
SEALs, yeah.
childhood.
Like, and
Really rough upbringing.
Atomic Habits, Can't Hurt Me, and Sapiens, the Book of Humankind by Yovel Herrera, I think. That made me look at humanity in an entirely different way. Basically, yeah, it's really interesting. I would like to hear other people's take on it and what you guys think, because it really opened my eyes to why we're a certain way and like how we choose food, and basically we got domesticated by plants. If you believe that or not.
A really crazy theory.
Yeah, really crazy
that
theory.
The wheat plants actually like tricked us into growing them a certain way and being so good.
Well, before we started cultivating all these plants, like we didn't have arthritis. No one was gluten intolerant. Gluten intolerant was not even a thing. We didn't have certain allergies. So all these things were brought on by eating plants.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying being anti-plant, because I think
Down with plants.
No, I've always believed that humans are meant to be omnivores. Life is balanced, so you need the best of both worlds. Like you can't get all nutrition from meat. You can't get all your nutrition from just plants. You have to have both. There's a reason why our biology is made that way. Like this is the reason why we have canines. This is the reason why we have molars. Like there's certain things in our body that allow us to do things.
Yeah, we're obligate omnivores, I believe.
Yeah, we're omnivores.
Yeah.
And if you disagree otherwise, then you
well,
need to go back to
that's
biology.
a deep dark hole. That we can go
Deep
down
dark
with
hole
you
that I'm not
and-
going to go into.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll tussle with you online.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think it would actually. What do you think of this? I think it would be really beneficial for us to kind of do maybe a different segment where we do a book review.
Yeah.
And we could put it on. We're in the process of putting things together. We have the Instagram page. We have the Instagram, but we definitely could do a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we can do the website where we can just collect all of this stuff, and we'll put, let's say, we'll do like a video review of those books, give our perspectives on those books, and quick little synopses on each of those books so you can dig into them. And what we can do is also we can set up affiliate links to those books if you want to throw some money our way, or at least help us with the show, because we do this completely just like because we love freaking doing it.
Exactly. Like, we both love fitness and strength sports, and we do it basically for you guys, to hear our take on perspectives on certain topics.
Yeah.
And, we're just two guys who like to shoot the shit, and
yeah, just so happens that we got all the stuff to do it. And
exactly.
It's literally a labor of love, and I'm just talking like I've invested a lot of money into it because I want like the best for you guys. We've made some fumbles along the way, and we're working to develop the space. Like for example, make this like a lot more cohesive and pretty for you guys.
Yeah. My first podcast was horrendous, but
it's a start. Though.
It's a start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
and that's just that's the thing. That's I would imagine that's kind of what we would want you all to see is the journey, and that as long as you're willing to actually go through the journey, you can develop your own thing as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it would be probably beneficial for people to check out like a list of the books that we read and all that stuff.
So a list of the books. Speaking of books,
reviews.
Goals in the Water by P.H. Mullen. It's the true story of ordinary men and their extraordinary dream of Olympic glory. 2000 Olympic Games is basically what it's centered around. So a lot of things happened.
That's P.H.
Mullen,
as it sounds, and then M-U-L-L-E-N. But yeah, we could build out like a website with the links to those books, and once again, like affiliate links to Amazon. So you can throw a few bucks away. Like it's not any more money for you guys. And anything that you purchase off of that link, like for example, you click on that link and then you buy maybe like some toilet paper or some paper towels or some sanitizer, we actually get a little bit of money back for you visiting Amazon at that time with our link. So that would really help us a ton and keep the show going, because like we want to do some bigger things. We want to talk to some people, and if you have any feedback on who you want us to talk to because you're curious, by all means reach out to us. We're reaching out to the community of people that we know in the fitness world, and we're talking to them for you, getting their perspectives, and
and like the experiences. Like I always wanted to share people's athletic stories because I felt like my athletic story was extraordinary, and I know people's are different. Like everyone has a different background. Like yours is, you got into sports very differently than the way I did,
absolutely.
And everyone else got into sports way differently than everyone else did. So everyone has a unique sports story, and I want to share that with everyone. So. Let it be known, because like why not?
Yeah, and I think besides just sports and fitness, it also is a great way for people to kind of develop a sense for
A community.
developing the community,
Yeah.
because in the community we can share in each other's challenges and develop a sense for overcoming adversity.
Yes.
And that's really the biggest thing, is like, for me, the biggest lesson in all of this is being able to overcome what seeming adversities I was experiencing in my life, and we all have those, especially in these times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll go and do something for you guys so you can check out some resources, maybe even some like maybe bands and some of the equipment that we use and the stuff that we like, even the media equipment that I use as well to produce this stuff, because it would be cool. I would absolutely love if we can continue this conversation with other people, if you have the itch to create something like this.
Speaking of gym equipment, so gym equipment sales have been up, as most of you guys know.
Yep. Can't buy anything.
Can't buy
anywhere.
anything. It's either that or they're more
Screw you
like
guys.
super expensive, and like even if you go on like Facebook Market, things are marked up super high. Like
It's bad.
a bench
Yeah.
and a cheap barbell that they bought at Walmart is for $400.
We're gouging people.
Which is ridiculous.
Also.
That's people who are doing that. Shame on you. Like you were probably the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, but revenue is down with gym sales, like Alpha
Equipment
Fit?
Outfitters.
Yeah, Equipment Outfitters.
Their revenue is actually down in
Yeah.
spite of like the more sales from consumers.
Yeah. So, like, obviously, to private gyms, like, or like to people, sales are up, but they make most of their money through commercialized gyms. So if they're not selling to commercialized gyms, their revenue is not going to be what it was.
It's like box gyms.
Yeah, like box gyms, like Globo
bigger,
gyms,
Like
yeah.
Globo
Yeah.
gyms. They're not getting nearly the same amount of money that
'cause
they
they're closed.
typically would. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a real shame. The only one that's not griping is Rogue, because
Rogue is like hiring.
yeah, Rogue is hiring. So if you are really like strapping down for a job and don't mind moving to Ohio,
That'd be dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're in the state of Ohio already.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love Rogue, but I don't love it that much.
Yeah. I mean, I love their equipment.
I do too. They built some really good stuff.
Yeah. It's a little pricey, but
Yeah.
if you catch them on a good sale.
Good sale.
Yeah.
You will get hooked.
Which is,
on.
I feel like with anything, like a good sale, like you'll get
Yeah.
good stuff.
Well, it's worth buying.
Yeah, it's
quality
definitely worth.
equipment.
It's quality.
Like I'm not gonna tell you the brand that I'm going to buy from, because y'all are gonna buy them out, and then I won't be able to buy my squat rack. So I'm not telling you anything.
I have Rogue, and I approve of this message. So
I've trained on a lot of Rogue equipment, and I've trained on other equipment as well. And Rogue is definitely up there in terms of the quality of their stuff. But I definitely have my eye on a piece of equipment. I'm selling off some of the equipment that I had back home in Los Angeles to a couple of friends, and I'm not gouging people because I want people to actually keep training.
Yeah.
So I have like $3,000 worth of equipment I'm selling off to a buddy of mine, I believe, for like less than half of that. Like he's getting a power rack, barbell, like hundreds of pounds of weight, a bench, like 3 mats. He's getting like a complete.
You're hooking him up, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Dang.
Well, in that case, like my buddy Edgar, like he went through a very challenging time when I got him started in powerlifting, and he just ran with it.
Yeah.
He actually, it's a complicated story. Long story short, he ended up in jail because he got involved with a really shady woman. It's terrible.
sorry, I'm laughing, but
Long story short, he it was the most stressful few months leading up to his incarceration. It was about a year, probably less than a year. But he came out and like he was hyper focused. I think it definitely scared the life out of him. And he came out and he's just been focused on training, and he's far superseded me in terms of like his commitment and his skill and just developing as
that's drive, you know. Like we've all
Yeah.
said, like certain things in our life contribute to our drive and our focus. Like for me, like I had that nasty chip on my shoulder for years. Like you want to get out of a nasty place in your life. For him, he really wanted to get out of that rough spot in his life, and that drove him. That fueled him, and like I always feel like these rough areas in your life, like they've always blossomed into something better. And
such a better perspective. It's
Yeah.
such a good way to see it,
Yeah.
rather than just like giving in to oh, this is my life, and like defaulting to like.
If you listen to Andy, so I always like to promote other people in their podcasts. Like I really like the Real AF podcast.
With Andy Frisella.
Andy Frisella, because
His first form, right?
yeah, his first form CEO. He speaks his mind, and like a lot of people don't like that, but it's real. Like basically what he said is like
There's a lot to take
You
in.
have to look at life differently. The reason why people like him succeed is because they may get frustrated with their position, but they look for solutions and they look for a better outcome out of it. They don't say, "Oh, poor me," or "Me as woe."
Yeah.
They go out of it. And like, granted, like that may happen, but you have to shift your paradigm and change your perspective and be like, you know what, I can do this. So
Yeah. And why not?
Yeah.
You know, that's like with you living up to like 80, 100 years old, like it's kind of a lousy mentality to think that like, oh, these are the cards I've been dealt. I guess I'll just deal with it.
Yeah, you can't be complacent, you can't settle, because your life can change literally within 3 seconds.
You know what I can't stand?
Yeah.
I can't stand water cooler conversations
Yeah.
because it's that.
Yeah.
It's literally like, I have this thing that bugs me about work and I can't change it, but I'm gonna bitch about it every single time.
Well, what are you doing about it?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like, and people are doing that on like a grand scale. It's like, why don't you fix it?
Yeah.
And that's really like part of what I hope that we can impart onto whoever it is that's listening to this, watching this. Definitely find some path where you can challenge yourself and prove to yourself that you're a lot stronger. I think we should take a little bit of a break here for a second. And we're gonna go into a break, and what I'm gonna do is we're gonna show a video of our wonderful assistant and friend, Heather, and she's doing a little deadlift tutorial with our awesome powerlifting friend, Ray. From Backbone Barbell in Orlando.
Oh yeah.
And this was filmed not during COVID-19, at another time.
Sure.
But this, but it's definitely worth the watch. It's one of those things where you challenge yourself, and this is the first time she'd ever done a real like solid deadlift. I even pushed her a little bit that day, but Ray definitely goes in.
You may have been a little overzealous
I
on
was
the first take.
I am extremely confident in people's abilities.
Yes.
And I always want to chat, because you can.
Yeah.
Because really the lesson here is that you can always do more, and if you need to scale back from that, it's good. But definitely worth the watch. So check that out. We're going to make a point to feature more people in the community, in the fitness and sports community who can teach you some things, as well as Mark's Streamline program, and anything else that we can teach you, so that
Which
you
we've kind of been sidelined on because
pools
are not available right now. So.
But it'll be soon.
Soon.
Because the beach is available.
Beach
is available.
Beach is available, dude. I'll do an open water tutorial.
Let's do it.
I mean, do we have a helicopter thingy? What is it called?
Drone?
A drone? Yeah.
We can get one.
Yeah, helicopter thingy.
Yeah, you can definitely get one.
What? I said the right thing, right?
Help us out.
Yeah.
Help us buy some books, get us some money for a drone.
little
It'll
drone.
help us get you more quality product.
Little aerial view.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I have to wear
They
a
have
white.
submarine
I'd have
drones
to,
now.
I have to wear a cap because you won't be able to see me.
That's true, like a bright yellow cap or something.
I have a bright white cap.
Yeah.
It'd be like a little snow cone on top of the water.
But stay tuned.
Yeah.
We're going to cut into that commercial. Check it out.
So going over the sumo deadlift. This is her first time doing a sumo deadlift. Literally today is her first day. So we're kind of fixing some of the beginner tweaks that might be there, and she's already improved a lot. You guys are getting like the very nice version. She's a very fast learner. So this should be fun to watch. When building tension in the sumo deadlift, when you squat down, you don't want to be a knee dominant movement, right? You want to push the hips back. You want back and hips, not just the legs. Like if you're just legs or if you're just back, you're weak. If you're legs and back, you're strong. It's more musculature. It's a safer position for the spine. Everything's reinforced. The body works together. That's what you want to go for with a sumo deadlift. Don't try to start too upright. Don't make it a squat. It's not a squat. So that's the big thing we went on. There's two main cues on the deadlift, especially the sumo position. Generally, people are weaker off of the floor. Let me show you real quick. Find a position where your shins are vertical on the floor. If your knees start caving in, you don't want to be there. So with our starting position, go ahead and get starting position. Okay, so we've got a little bit more. You'll be able to see from the side that her shin is not tracking forward a whole lot or backwards a whole lot. It's pretty much vertical into the floor. So go ahead and just set up on the bar. You don't have to do a rep, just get tight on the bar. Good, so this is very, very linear. It's not exaggerated one way or the other. That's what you want to do for the setup. Perfect. So when you start off the floor, just kind of hold tension. You want to make sure that you're tight. Don't yank, don't build tension with the bar while trying to lift the bar. Build tension with the bar before you lift the bar. It's also, there's a common term, pulling the slack out of the bar. I don't know if I entirely agree on it, especially on a stiff bar. Different talk, different time. Regardless, you want your lats to stay tight, you want your air up here, and you want to push your abdominal wall out to brace. That's what's going to help to brace the spine and the back. And a big one is the T-spine. You see people fail deadlift here. That's T-spine and core weakness. So you want to brace that while loading on the bar, before you're lifting the bar. There's a difference between loading on the bar and lifting the bar. 2 cues off the floor. You need patience with sumo. You're generally going to be a little weaker off the floor. You have a wider base, takes a little more time to generate force. As you go up, don't pull straight up. If you pull straight up from where you start, you're going to be on your toes, you're going to be forward, your back can't lock out, and your hips are not being taken advantage of. So the second you break it off the floor, I think up and then pull back. Like someone has a string on your hip, and the second this bar gets to your knee, approaches your knee, someone yanks the string on your hip, and you shove your glutes into the bar, okay? Maintain lat tightness. That's not an excuse to deadlift like this. Still maintain lat tightness and core tightness, but think mainly about the hips once you pass your knee. Then if you're in a good position right there, odds of finishing the lift are a lot higher. So we're just gonna do like 5 singles, and we'll get some verbal correction if there needs to be. If there's not, then she's a freaking awesome deadlifter. So just 5 reps, one at a time. Just try to think about, make every rep feel the same, okay? Good. There we go. One thing you guys will be able to see from that profile, you'll be able to see how far back the hips are, and the hips are not under the spine. You don't want shoulders and hips lined up. You want the hips out here and the shoulders right here. Okay, that's a good trademark of using the back with the hips. We want both. Rep 2. Good. There we go. Good, a little more air. Now cue speed through the middle. Never think speed off the floor with sumo. Almost never, unless you're like, who does that? What's the 220 guy? I can't remember his name right now. Dang it. He's the most explosive type 2B fiber lifter I've ever friggin' seen in my life. Unless you're that guy who deadlifts like 804 at 220, don't pull fast sumo off the floor, especially with a stiff bar. Build tension and then accelerate. So a big cue for the sumo, after you break it off the floor, patience off the floor, and then accelerate to the top. Those are 2 really important cues for sumo if the position is already good. Those are the 2 main things you want to think. So we're going to try it again with cueing speed through the middle of the lift. Cool? Build tightness. Go. There we go. See, there's a snap at the top. There's a snap at the top. We got 2 more, okay? Kind of do them on your own. There we go. Good. 1 more. Doing awesome. Yeah, very good, very good. Heck yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
So I'm going to point out some tendencies and a quick weakness evaluation for anyone that's kind of watching the video. You see in the middle is the slowest range of motion. That's going to tell you your weakness. So if you're slow off the floor, generally it's quads. It could be glutes, but generally it's quads, or if the back can't handle the load and the rate of force development the hips can generate. Those are your main weaknesses if you're slow off the floor. You're slow in the middle. Generally, you're looking at the core and the ability of the glutes and hamstrings to fire. They might not be weak. There's a big debate in the physical therapy world of activated versus weak. Regardless, they need work. As a strength coach, that's what I can tell you. And then at the tippy top, if the lockout looks like this, you have a grandpa booty, and you need more trap and core work. You need to maintain spinal stability throughout the middle of the lift, so you're at an advantageous position at the top. But if the hips can't pull through to the bar, then the upper body will compensate. Like if you're right here, and you know to lock the hips out, like this still is not a lockout. The shoulder's not behind the hip joint. Red lights. Okay. So a workout to fix the middle part of a deadlift would be like a pause to deadlift. That's highly specific. A banded deadlift, a Dimmel deadlift, any of those would all help to target the weakness in the middle of any deadlift. You can do those sumo, you can do those wide grip, you can do those against bands, you can do them with chains, you can do them any way you like. But those are the main lifts I would suggest as a secondary main lift. Depending on what program you're following, you can go main lift and then all single joint, or you can do main lift, secondary main lift, tertiary main lift, and then a little bit of accessories. However you want to separate it, those are my top 3 for middle portion of the deadlift being slower, whether you're sumo or conventional. Cool? That's the deadlift. Okay.
And we're back.
Okay, cool. What are you drinking?
So I got to be a little bit of a hippie. So that's just carbonated water and pomegranate. So nothing fancy. Yeah, I can't even mess with alcohol right now.
Is this alcohol? It's
I
just
think
adult
that's-
apple juice,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, that's basically what it is.
I like
It's-
apple juice,
It's blonde girl go-go juice.
That's,
That's what it is.
I mean, it's not White Claw, so. I refuse.
What is?
I refuse.
It's like a different
I
category.
actually like Truly's better than White Claws. They have more flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Truly's because I'm all about like more flavor than.
Yeah. The White Claws are it's for white people. Honestly.
It's like the PBR of
Not even. It's like
hard seltzer, which is I kind of like PBRs.
I can't really say much because like I drank PBR in college.
Yeah, I kind of like PBRs.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. So,
Now that I'm a responsible adult.
yeah, because I remember getting way too messed up on PBRs.
Yeah, it's easy to. And he wasn't doing it because he was a hipster either. That's because
No.
it was just cheap ass beer.
Yeah, I was shotgunning it, bottling it, chugging it.
Let's talk more about our sins in the past.
Yeah.
You were more of a, you know, it always blows me away that like, for those of you that went to college and had that experience, it blows me away that you're able to do that. Because I have one night of drinking and it demolished, even when I was younger, I was useless for the rest of the week.
No, dude. Like, well, you have to take into consideration like my metabolism too at the
That's true.
time, because I was a competitive swimmer. So like, I was superhuman. Like, like much of the athletes there, but like we were superhuman. We could.
Yeah.
I had this actually conversation with one of my friends, Mark Hindy. He was a thrower at FSU, and he's like, dude, I remember the parties you guys used to throw as swimmers, and like, I can't even drink that much anymore. I'm like, I know, like I literally have 2 old fashions and I'm done for the night.
Yep.
Like that's it. That's
I
it.
can't either.
Like I can't even drink beer anymore. That's just scary.
Yeah, really?
Because it makes my stomach talk to me. I don't like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, you drive that car long enough, it's gonna start to break down.
Yeah.
on
So
you.
like, now like, it's embarrassing because
Yeah.
in college I could drink beer all day and
that really
nothing would
weird.
bother me. But
Yeah, that's true. So that very weird anecdote is kind of a way of me touching on the fact that so I also want to get this across because I guess you could kind of say this kind of will swirl around in social media. Just because we're here talking with like big voices and we're talking about all the like insane things that we've done, like you're an extraordinary swimmer and all the lifting that we do and all that stuff. It's not to say that like we don't have our shortcomings or like our because you say weaknesses.
yeah,
I mean,
or
like,
vices.
Yeah, our biases and weaknesses. But I mean, like for you, for example, like you have to walk around with an EpiPen because like tree nuts will fucking kill you.
Yeah.
By the way, Jamie, what are you doing? What are you trying? What are you gonna try to give this man a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
It was a mistake.
I just gotta get it out there.
Yeah. It was okay. I mean, my mom's tried to kill me
That
more than one time.
blows
so-
my mind.
Well, I mean, my mom's there to try to kill me. More
That's
than
true.
Once, so.
That's true.
It's not shocking.
Like,
So
so you always have to be conscious that like
it's a good thing. Like I'm very like cautious and like I question everything. I'm like, what's
you
the
were
matter?
like, oh, thanks for the sandwich, babe.
Yeah. No, I just like kind of like
Yeah.
look at it and like, seriously?
Yeah. Like, really?
Yeah,
You're doing
really?
this? So that.
Yeah.
All that to say that like part of why we
I ask
do.
like if I ever go to a restaurant, I ask so many questions. You've been to restaurants with me.
Yeah,
I ask
yeah.
so many questions, and it's
Yeah.
I used to get embarrassed by it, but now it's like it's part of my life. Like,
No.
so I'm like, hey, is anything you cook here gonna kill me? And like I make it known. Like, look, I have a serious
Like
allergy.
it's life-threatening.
Like it's
allergy.
life-threatening. Like I've been defibrillated twice,
Just say you died twice.
basically.
I've seen the light.
Yeah, there is no light.
That's about.
Oh.
It's just darkness.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know where I'm going, but yeah.
That's honest. That is honest.
Maybe I'm going to purgatory. I don't know, but
Little vacation.
it's serious. It's impacted my life several times. I mean, I've had teammates drive me to the hospital and like didn't know if I was going to make it out of the emergency room. So it's really scary stuff. And
Yeah.
so, but
Yeah.
it's part of my life and I accept it.
Yeah.
So
No, all that to say that like this the thing with social media is it can be really it could be really deceptive and like people seem to have these like perfect lives and we certainly don't like
No.
like for example right now I'm dealing with like I'm realizing that I guess I have a histamine intolerance problem And like today I was excited because I got a package at Amazon that like has diamine oxidase, which means it basically helps to break down histamine. Like I never would have expected to have to think about this stuff back in the day, but this is part of the whole process of not being completely helpless in the face of challenges that are bothering you. And honestly, I'm figuring it out, you know? And it's something that's like, and that's what blows my mind about this whole COVID thing is like, you're presented with an issue and you're just like, okay, I accept these
roll
things.
over.
Okay, this is the problem, I don't care. Like for me, it's like, it burns in my mind, just like, you don't want me to go outside, you won't let me work out, you won't let me like work. Like for people who have families and who need to make a living.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Like, yeah. Well, I know like, for a fact, my sister's like going crazy with her kids.
Yeah.
And she's like, when she's a teacher and she has to teach her own kids, she's like, no, can't do it. It's like, my brother-in-law, she's like pushing them out. It's like, go play with them outside. Go do something. So
I love that meme. There's like somebody that's like got a smug smile. It's like, I bet all those people who were saying that you should have kids and start a family by 30 are probably regretting their decisions right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would love to have kids, but I can wait now.
Yeah.
I'm happy being Uncle Mark. It's fun.
Yeah.
I get to return them. And I
Take them back
yeah,
at the
and I
end of
just
the day.
still, I'm still fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. But my point with all of this like weird little tangential conversation is that like we all have challenges that we face, and we have to work towards finding solutions for them. Like I don't want to like grease myself down with this stuff like 3 or 4 times a day, and have to like go to bed not wanting to touch my sheets because I've got grease all over my arms.
yeah.
But all that to say that like just because it seems like people on social media look like they have these dazzling lives, it's not to say that they're not having to deal with certain things. But especially those people that inspire you, maybe take a second to consider that they're experiencing something where they have to push past that and still glamorous doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
What we're doing here, like we built this out. And we're doing it because we're passionate about it, and we're doing it because we like it. And there should be no excuse for you not be able to chase that stuff nowadays. Like I mentioned before, a lot of people made their millions during the Great Depression because I think it really makes you focus.
Yeah.
And you realize, especially when you're sitting here
I feel like if you
in your own,
if you get trapped inside your own mind, it's a lot of loopholes and a lot of tunnels that you don't want to go down to. That's why I feel like you need to get your thoughts out of your head and like put them on paper.
Yeah.
And especially like the dark ones, because I felt like for me, that helped me so much. Just like, this isn't going to be my reality, or I don't want this for myself. So I wrote it down on paper and I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Closed it. Never look at it again. And I'll probably read it, 10 years from now and be like,
oh, I'm crazy.
yeah. Well, I already knew that. A lot of my teammates already knew. My family already knows I'm crazy.
I'm crazy.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of crazy though, like people are playing outside more.
Yeah.
I love that.
So right now it is May 1st.
May 1st.
And
Florida is at
Florida-
almost full peak hotness.
we're opening things up, or the state's opening up again.
The water temperature's 80 degrees.
But yeah,
Be
things
jealous,
are,
Northerners.
yeah, things are rocking and rolling. Like people are like, they're beyond anticipating the reopening of the state. And while the rest of the country kind of looks on this side of the west coast of the country looks on the east coast and thinks of them as like crazy.
Well, I think everyone looks down on Florida like we're a bunch of idiots. But
Yeah. Well,
honestly,
when you got people eating bath salts, it's easy.
I mean, listen. So, my dad made me Google the population of New York versus the population of Florida.
Yeah.
And population of Florida only has 500,000 less people than the state of New York, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
There's
That's
no reason that we're only at 35% bed capacity in hospitals down here compared to they are full of people in New York. There should be no reason. So
There's a
are we really crazy? Are we really the craziest state, or are we really like the state that doesn't give a shit? Now, to add to that, like when this whole thing came out, mind you, it was spring break. Where do most people go for spring break? Florida. Thank you. Florida's known for tourism. So all you Northerners blaming Florida for spreading the coronavirus and not giving a shit about the coronavirus, it was your people doing it.
This is true. That's true.
Ran over.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies there and a lot of fear mongering, and it's just in.
We circle back around to this topic again.
We do, because
somehow.
it is affecting our lives right now, and
Yeah.
it touches on a lot of very different aspects of what's going on in our lives. So I mean, that makes perfect sense, and that's okay. It's okay. Like, I know we reluctantly pushed against it at the very beginning there when it was starting up, but really it's it's part of our lives.
Are we still not doing that?
We're just embracing it, I think.
I mean, I'm kind of.
Here we are, sitting inside in our garage, drinking ciders, because the world's falling apart.
It's not even strong.
I wish I had a shotgun, just like a shotgun on the table, that really, like, that way you
Really
can
for
look
it?
back on this video and be
I
like,
didn't bring one.
what were we doing back then? Wow, just
Bring
like,
out the AR-15, slap
Yeah,
it on
just
the
like
table.
there.
You've really
we're on full lockdown. The world's going crazy.
Oh, we got dumbbells. I mean, we can
That's
throw one
true.
of those.
That's
That's
true.
deadly, right? It's deadly
It's,
at what, 10 feet?
I wouldn't throw it though. Like zombie apocalypse, I'd hold on to it and like smash heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you throw, then you're like, you gotta go fetch it, and that, you
Drinking
kind of.
horn. Other end sharp.
That's true.
Stab.
That's your
Stabby stab.
auxiliary weapon.
Yeah.
That's true. Your secondary.
And I can drink out of it.
Primary is dumbbell.
Multifunctional.
Just don't drink the blood.
Yeah.
Infections definitely no go for zombies.
Blood my enemies.
What else have we got on the docket for today?
It's people playing outside. CrossFit World. Obviously, it's like I love the CrossFit Games and the CrossFit World. I think they do a really good job of keeping everyone healthy because everything's scalable.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I love, and it really I feel like this should replace gym class
Yeah.
because this is how you make better athletes.
Yeah.
Like it's not sport specific, and there's movements for sport specific athletes, which but if you're not an athlete, you just want general fitness, I think CrossFit's the best way to go.
Yeah.
They just announced that they're canceling the age group championship, so no teenage division, no master divisions for CrossFit at the CrossFit Games this year.
CrossFit has officially become ageist.
Yeah, ages.
That's the headline.
Yeah, basically. If we were CNN. Wow, that was mean. Not really, because it's true. But
Hashtag progressive news.
but it sucks because they're reducing the number of athletes little by little, like soon.
Yeah.
And
mean,
as far as I've heard, there's only 6 teams that have qualified for the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot. Like,
No,
granted, it's
not
gonna
at all.
it's gonna be a stiff competition, but you got to give Mayhem Freedom some competition. Like,
Yeah.
Rich's team is gonna fucking dominate again.
Yeah.
But which I don't have a problem because Team USA is
Yeah.
Team
Yeah,
USA.
they'll crush,
Like,
they'll crush,
I'm always
yeah.
gonna back Team USA no matter what.
And they're doing it back at the ranch, right?
Yeah, they're doing it back
Yeah.
at Romus, which sucks for the for the city of Madison because I'm sure that brought in a lot of revenue
That's true.
for them. And they were actually selected as the fittest city in America. So, kudos to them. And they deserve that time. Yeah, I guess people are fit there. I don't know. I was actually looking for, before this whole COVID thing. I was saving up money to go to a trip to Madison to watch the CrossFit Games. But now, since CrossFit's gone spectatorless, I'm just gonna have to watch it on TV.
2021,
Like
yeah.
2021, Madison, back to
That's
Madison.
so weird that Madison's got that title because I
Yeah.
just imagine cheese curds and like fried everything.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine
Guess I
too.
was wrong.
Because I never been to Madison, but I've been to. I'm gonna sound like an asshole, but I've been to Minnesota,
Yeah.
like in the summertime.
Sorry, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's your cousin. It's Minnesota.
Yeah, they're like the same.
Yeah, basically.
You guys are gonna hate me.
And
sorry.
but I went in the summer, so it was perfect temperature. I mean, it was like 77 degrees, and you sit outside. It was not scorching hot.
Yeah.
There was no humidity, so it was really nice. And
I can imagine.
yeah, it was just
So
peaceful.
like by
going.
a lake?
It was nationals, USA nationals. So I was swimming at the University of Minnesota, and it was like downtown Minneapolis. So I got to sit outside in the patios and stuff. Go to the Noodle Company or Noodle House, I think that's the restaurant.
I don't know.
I think it's Noodle House. Really good restaurant.
God, I really want noodles.
Yeah, it was really good. They had,
God damn.
I had the Wisconsin mac and cheese. So all 7 different types of cheeses from
That's
Wisconsin.
wild.
Very delicious. Definitely highly recommend.
You had Wisconsin mac and cheese in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
America.
And I had backstrap for the first time, backstrap bacon, which is like totally different than regular bacon.
What kind of animal?
It's still a boar. A
Oh, it's a boar?
Yeah.
It's backstrap bacon?
Backstrap, yeah.
Really?
Backstrap's like really thick.
I hear like
and it's
backstrap's really going to like a lot of animals, yeah.
Yeah. Well, backstrap, I think you can get it from venison too.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's from a boar and it's very juicy, like not crispy.
Really?
It's so good, dude.
Any of you hunters out there?
Yeah.
Can you
I'm
look it up?
actually.
I really want to know what that's like.
I actually want to try to eat more game meat
I do too.
because it's more natural.
Yeah.
So any hunters want to hook us up with some game meat, some
Yeah,
venison, some
yeah.
backstrap,
Yeah.
some wild boar,
Yeah.
elk, or even like some of the organs. I'll eat it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've already known to eat weird stuff. I mean, I've had cow tongue. I've
That's
had
easy.
tripe.
Cow brains,
I've had cow brain. Oh, I had sheep's brains.
sheep's brains.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably the same.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I always think like if you go to a like sort of side thing, like if I ever go to like a taco place and they have cow tongue,
Yeah.
tripe, and brains, I'm like, this is a good spot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good
I've
spot.
had liver.
Liver's an easy one
yeah.
though. Everyone like hates on liver.
I've had chicken hearts.
That's like that's a pretty common. But yeah.
Gazelle meat.
Ooh, wow. Where'd you get that?
Florida State. I had awesome teammates from different
No
countries.
way. Yeah. You said you had a South American kid or
Yeah,
like
South
South
Africa,
African.
yeah.
Yeah.
Multicultural.
Yeah, that's
Around the
awesome.
world.
That's awesome.
I want to try kangaroo one day.
Darren,
Darren, hook us
hook
up.
it up. We're coming to you.
Yeah,
2021.
Dude, if I can go to, that'd be awesome if I could go
Yeah.
to Australia
Yeah.
in 2021.
Try to go to Sydney. Who do we have there?
Sydney? I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll
Who's-
find
who's
someone.
like
Who?
Yeah, there's sports people there.
Yeah.
Fitness people.
I'll talk to Ian Thorpe. I don't care. He's
Okay.
like the ambassador for swimming in Australia.
Gotcha.
He'd be cool to talk to.
There's that fit mom in Australia, something
know who she is.
DeSanzo. I forgot. She was a guest with Mark Bell once.
She's not an ethot, right?
Kind of is, but not really. She's actually strong. Like,
okay, that's cool. I can rock with that.
Yeah. Like she actually powerlifted for a minute, so she's strong.
Maybe we should get Paula on this.
Who?
Paula?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Paula, you want to be on this?
Yeah.
We should get her on here, because she was like
I feel like she'd be nervous to talk
probably, which is
because English is not her first language.
yeah, but I think that's okay.
Yeah. We understand her.
We have plenty of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that'd be alright.
No, we have to get tequila. She only drinks tequila.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologize, don't remember.
Tequila. I'll remember.
All right. Any preference on tequila? By the way, that
Probably
also
expensive
goes
stuff.
out to any potential guests in the future. If you have an alcohol preference, you're more than welcome to
Or
furnish
if you
it.
just like coffee, like we normally have.
And we'll put in some alcohol in it.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Daniels and coffee is pretty
Yeah,
good.
but this is what I mean. Like, if like it's so fun to do this and have these conversations. So I mean, if you wanna help us out, like keep the show going, like we're really playing around with the idea of doing like a Patreon too. So right now we're actually recording some behind the scenes. That'd be something we want to get out to you guys.
Definitely want to get some t-shirts. That way we're not wearing our regular shirts
Yeah,
all the time.
we could do like discounts on shirts for people who are on the Patreon too. That'd be another
Yeah.
one. Or like we'll do exclusive designs for people that are on the
Yeah, for
Patreon.
sure.
Like, what did you say earlier? I am. Ah man, I forgot what you said. That I said would be like really funny if it was like a picture of your face on a shirt, and it's like,
Oh, I am the gift.
I am the gift.
Yeah, that's a little conceited.
I kind of want to make that happen, though. I kind of want to make that happen. It's just like a joke. Like Jocko Willink has like the black, all black one with like his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like
Maybe it'll work.
Cro-Magnon.
I mean, I feel like I'm more photogenic than
Jocko.
than Jocko. So, although Jocko's way more badass than I can ever be.
Oh,
So,
yeah. We're all badass in our own way. See what I did there?
Yeah.
I took the nice route for
Yeah,
everybody.
there you go. You're so
'Cause
thoughtful.
Equal opportunity person.
Are you?
All right. I always used to tell people like, I don't hate any one person. I'm an equal opportunity discriminator.
Yeah, there you go.
Hate everybody. We got anything else?
No, that's all I had written down. Basically, like just key points to, look at. Just do you. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable going outside or returning to work or being outside in public with a mask or going shopping with a mask, like, just do you. Like for me, like I'm gonna do me. Like I try to avoid Publix and Walmart because it's basically mass hysteria there. It gives me anxiety because everyone else is freaking out and they look at me like I have 5 heads, like something's wrong with me. I'm doing all the things that are necessary to keep myself healthy. Exercising, getting sun exposure, being socially interactive because it's good for my mental health as well, not just my physical health. Writing down my thoughts, journaling, which I think is a perfect time to do, and then learning something new. I told you I've been taking that nutrition class, and I'm almost done. I actually got 100 on my last quiz. I'm very surprised, especially since it was only 4 questions.
Yeah.
So
That's with
Stanford.
Stanford. Yeah.
So I actually feel smart right now.
Yeah.
Until my next
you're a
class.
Stanford-educated man.
Not yet. I got like 2 more quizzes left.
Well, I mean, that actually touches on the fact that, like, here we are in the midst of this big global situation, and it really does present you with an opportunity to do something greater. And I saw this meme, and it was like, if you aren't like growing and becoming better during this, clearly it wasn't an issue of time, it was just an issue of will.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
And
which is true, and like people were like marking down, like, people was like, oh, that's not true. That's like,
yeah, I saw that. Like, someone was like, it's not true. It's like, it is. Like, it is. Like, it doesn't have to be.
To a certain point, it is, because you have all this time to do it. And like, I realize people deal with stress completely different.
True.
But like I said, like, don't look at life as woe is me. Look for solutions. Like,
Yeah.
if I can't do this, I can do this, this, and this, and that will make my life better.
Yeah, because I mean, who wants to be at the mercy of their circumstances or the people around them? Like, the fact of the matter is, you got to remember that just because the government, for the most part, has your best intentions in mind, I'm still weary of other people. Like, I don't want to relinquish all manner of control to other people. That's dangerous. And so, like, I get it. Like, there were people that saying, you know what, you're good enough. You don't have to start. You like. Someone was saying that, like, this whole hustle culture is such a bad thing, but why not?
No, I feel like never be complacent, because your life can change every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've said that to multiple people. When actually one of my good friends, or one of my teammates' brother, Thomas Wynn, he asked, like, what would you tell your 27-year-old self for his birthday? And I was like, never be complacent. Like, your life can literally change within 3 minutes.
Facts.
So, don't feel like you ever made it. Like, always feel like you have to chase something. And that's the way I see life. Like, when you're retired and you've made it, like, find something new to do. I mean, dude, my dad's gonna be 69 this year, and he's still going to the gym, busting his ass. Like, granted, his reps are not what they used to be.
Give him credit. He's an older man.
I still give him credit. Like, he still runs on a hard pavement. God bless his soul. Still bench presses. Bench presses quite a lot for an old man.
Yeah. Well, it's like we used to talk about. There is just a certain caliber person that sort of embodies being more of like a what did I say? It was a sheepdog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are just sheeple, and then some people are
Sheeple, that's a good word.
Yeah, some people are sheeple, and some people are the wolves, and they're the ones that prey on those sheeple, and then some people are watchdogs, and those are the people who are willing to actually take on adversities, to harden themselves, and are never either complacent.
They're away from the pack, and like they're the trailblazers of life.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're never either complacent or arrogant in their achievements, so that they're always willing to grow and develop, and you should cultivate that, because life is long, and it's short, and brutish, and intense. So put in the time.
Life is
to
also
become better.
beautiful. We forgot that.
That is beautiful. Life is also beautiful. So you have every opportunity to take advantage of all of that. And I think that's good for me.
Yeah.
That's plenty for me.
Good wrap up. Where
Yeah.
can we find us? It
Well-
sounds so weird when I say it like that.
Yeah, right? It's like, where can I find myself?
Yeah. Where can I find myself?
In my journal. So, so again, like we're gonna do the book reviews for you guys,
For sure.
and put that out there for you to be able to access, and so you can kind of get a perspective, a similar perspective to what we've got. Just kind of see where we're coming from, because we can only do so much to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
So check out those book reviews. We'll be starting putting them out there and getting the website together. We'll try to get that out as soon as we possibly can. We still have our lives to tend to. But you can find me as the person sitting in the chair at my primal being, and the entity that is behind the cameras and the lights and all the sound is going to be Echelon Media. Or if you want to specifically find that person, I can also link her. somewhere down there. She does some pretty cool stuff. We'll probably bring her around here to this side of the camera sometime soon. She's shaking her head.
She's shaking her head, but
she knows a thing
Yeah.
or two about a thing or two.
Yep.
She's a little badass on her own. And then
you can find me on Instagram at MCOX91. Don't follow me on Facebook. I say it every time, but
that I want on a shirt too.
yeah, don't follow me on
Follow me on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Because I
But
won't friend you.
Yeah.
I'm very untrusting. Unless I recognize the name, which I got a friend request the other day and I looked at it for like a good 30 minutes. I'm like, who is this person? Then I realized I went to high school with them. And I was like, okay.
All right. So if you've previously known Mark in the past,
Yeah, then I'll question why you're following me at this time. But then I'll sooner or later accept it.
Yeah, he's probably trying to get you in his, network marketing business. He's gonna pitch you.
Yeah, the triangle pyramid.
Ah, man. Anyways,
Tell you to F off.
yeah, this has been Mark
Pound
E.
sand.
Mark
Marky
with
Mark with Florida's Fittest podcast.
signing off.
See ya.